You know that feeling when after solving the second block you find this annoying little edge stuck in this position and you don't know what to do with it? You start thinking maybe doing M2, you do M2, or maybe instead of that just inserting the other one and then doing D2. But after watching this video you won't have to do anything like that because I created a very simple yet easy way of always solving the edge while doing the second block. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So let's say we have our second block here, we're just gonna bring down the edge, do an M2 to pair the corners, and now you're about to insert the second block on the bottom layer. So what many people would normally do is just taking the block and bringing it down, but if you paid attention here, there is the DB edge, which in my case is the black-orange one, that's paired to the block, but incorrectly. So what happens when you bring down the block is that this edge also goes into the bad position. So the simple point of this method is to just build the block on the top layer, and then instead of just inserting it normally, you insert it in a specific way while at the same time solving this edge. The cool thing is that there are only 6 cases that I'll explain really quickly and intuitively. So case number 1, you have the block here and the edge is already solved in its position. What you want to do is that you simply take the block and you bring it down and you're not going to have any problems here. Same goes if the edge is paired correctly to the block like this. So instead of just bringing it down and then doing M2, you just misalign before inserting and then you can just bring down everything at the same time. Let's say you're about to insert the block but the edge is here in this position, so it's in the DF position. You have 2 options here. Option number 1, you just take down the block, do a U2 and then insert the edge in the back. That's one option. But another very simple option is to put the block like this and pair the edge to the block like this. Then you're gonna do a 5 -5, possibly with this finger trick here, and then you're gonna bring everything down. Same reasoning can be applied if the edge is paired to the block incorrectly on the top layer, like this. So you can either take the block, bring it down, do a U2 and then insert the edge, that's something perfectly fine. Or another interesting move you can do is to take the edge, you solve it first, so like this, and then you're gonna insert the block by making sure the edge stays in its position. Now, the 2 worst cases are the ones in which you have, for example, the edge here in the DR position, because in this case, the only thing you can do is insert the block and then just solve the edge with an M2. Same reasoning applies if the edge is here in the UL position, so you can simply bring down the block and then do an M2 to solve the edge. So guys, despite how easy and intuitive this method is, it's probably the best way to solve the second block as an intermediate solver. Obviously, to create the block on the top layer, you need to be able to solve the second block, and if you don't know how to do it, I have a tutorial that's gonna pop out around here in a second that you can use to learn how to build the second block like a pro in just 10 minutes. But if you already know how to do it and this little edge problem is kind of pissing you off, then just use this method, which is extremely simple and is gonna allow you to cut your times by a lot. So that's it for this very quick and easy tutorial. Hopefully you liked it and make sure to subscribe to the channel. In the meanwhile, good cubing!